of their ancestors. Lanterns lined the winding river, and fireworks painted the heavens with brilliant hues of gold and scarlet, symbolizing renewal and remembrance. For 16-year-old Cale, this festival was more than just a tradition, it was a chance to uncover the mystery of his past. As a child, he had been found at the temple gates with no memory of where he had come from. The only clue to his origins was a golden pendant shaped like a phoenix, engraved with ancient runes that no scholar in Eldoria could decipher. The village bustled with excitement as people adorned themselves in silk robes embroidered with swirling flames, representing the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Stalls overflowed with fragrant dumplings, spiced tea, and sugar-coated fire fruit, a delicacy that only ripened during the festival season. Performers with painted masks danced through the streets, their movements mimicking the flight of a phoenix rising from the ashes. Cale weaved through the crowd, his heart pounding as he approached the grand shrine, where the festival's final ceremony would take place. He clutched his pendant, feeling its warmth against his skin. Ever since he was young, he had dreamed of standing beneath the ancient cherry tree at the shrine's center. Tonight, he hoped it would finally reveal its secrets. As the festival reached its peak, the high priestess stepped forward, her golden robes shimmering in the firelight. She raised her hands, and the crowd fell silent. Tonight, she declared, we honor those who came before us. And we embrace the flames of destiny that guide our souls. At her signal, hundreds of lanterns were released into the night sky, floating like stars across the heavens. Cale held his breath as he let go of his own lantern, watching it ascend. But instead of drifting with the others, his lantern wavered, then darted towards the ancient cherry tree at the heart of the shrine. A hush fell over the crowd. Whispers spread like wildfire. The phoenix lantern, an elder murmured in awe. Cale hesitated before stepping forward. The tree's gnarled roots pulsed with an eerie glow, as if responding to his presence. He reached out to touch the bark, and suddenly, a rush of images flooded his mind. He saw a temple engulfed in golden flames, its spires crumbling as shadowy figures fought beneath a blood-red moon. He saw a woman with eyes like molten gold, whispering his name before vanishing into the inferno. And he saw the crest of a forgotten kingdom, identical to the one on his pendant. The visions ended as quickly as they had begun. Cale staggered back, gasping for breath. The high priestess approached, her expression solemn. "You are the last heir of the Phoenix clan," she said. "Lost to time, but never forgotten." Cale's hands trembled as he clutched his pendant. "What happened to my family?" "Their kingdom was consumed by darkness long ago," she replied. "But the fire never truly dies." She placed a hand over his. "You are their legacy. And the flames of your past will guide you to your future." Tears burned in Cale's eyes, but he stood tall. The Fire Blossom Festival was no longer just a celebration, it was a calling. And as the fireworks ignited the sky, he knew that his journey was only beginning. With the spirits of his ancestors watching over him, Cale stepped forward into destiny, ready to reclaim the fire that had once been lost. The Moonlight Festival, a celebration of dreams and destiny. The night sky shimmered with countless stars as the village of Silverbrook prepared for its most anticipated event of the year, the Moonlight Festival. Every autumn, on the night of the full moon, the villagers gathered to honor their ancestors, celebrate unity, and send their wishes into the heavens. It was a time of joy, magic, and hope. For Aiko, this year's festival was especially significant. After 5 years of traveling abroad, she had finally returned to her childhood home. The familiar sight of glowing lanterns lining the cobbled streets and the scent of roasted chestnuts and spiced tea filled her with nostalgia. It was as if nothing had changed, yet everything felt different. "Aiko," a familiar voice called out. She turned to see her younger brother, Kento, rushing toward her. "I was afraid you wouldn't make it." She laughed, embracing him tightly. "I wouldn't miss this for the world." Together, they wandered through the bustling festival. Stalls displayed beautiful paper fans, silk garments, and intricate moon-shaped pastries filled with sweet red bean paste. Musicians played lively melodies on flutes and drums, while dancers in flowing robes performed beneath the glowing lanterns. Children ran around with sparklers, their laughter blending with the cheerful hum of the crowd. At the heart of the village stood the Moonlight Pavilion, a grand structure where the festival's most cherished tradition would soon take place, the celestial lantern release. As the full moon reached its peak, the villagers gathered, each holding a delicate lantern adorned with handwritten wishes. The village elder, a wise woman with silver-streaked hair, stepped forward. On this night, the moon watches over us, carrying our hopes and dreams to the stars. Let us send forth our wishes, believing in the magic of destiny. Aiko took a deep breath, carefully writing her wish on the smooth surface of her lantern. May my journey always lead me back to those I love. She knelt by the riverbank, where the lanterns would be set afloat. One by one, the villagers released their glowing orbs onto the water, watching as they drifted downstream, their golden reflections dancing on the rippling surface. The river shimmered with hundreds of lights, a breathtaking sight against the moonlit sky. Kento nudged her. They say if your lantern's light stays visible until it disappears beyond the horizon, your wish will come true. Aiko smiled softly. Then I hope mine burns the longest. As they watched the lanterns float away, a gentle breeze carried whispers of wishes through the air. Fireworks suddenly burst overhead, painting the sky in brilliant hues of sapphire, crimson, and gold. The crowd cheered, celebrating the beauty of the moment. Aiko turned to her brother and the familiar faces of her village, feeling warmth blossom in her heart. No matter where life took her, this festival, this night, would always remind her of home. And as the final firework faded into the night, she knew that some wishes had already come true. The Celestial Festival. In the ancient kingdom of Lumira, where the night sky shimmered with eternal stardust, the Celestial Festival was the most awaited event of the year. Every autumn, under the light of the twin moons, the people of Lumira gathered atop the moonlit cliffs to celebrate the harmony between the celestial realms and the mortal world. Legend had it that on this night, the veil between worlds grew thin, allowing the chosen ones to glimpse their true destinies. For 17-year-old Alina, the festival held a deeper meaning. She had spent her entire life searching for clues about her lineage, armed with nothing but a silver pendant shaped like a crescent moon, the only link to the past she could not remember. Each year, she watched the festival lights with quiet longing, hoping the stars would reveal their secrets to her. The air buzzed with excitement as the villagers adorned the cliffs with silver lanterns, their soft glow resembling fallen stars. Stalls overflowed with celestial-themed delicacies, moonberry pastries, starfruit nectar, and shimmering crystal candies. Musicians played ethereal melodies on silver harps, their notes blending with the gentle whisper of the ocean below. Alina wandered through the crowd, her heart pounding. This year, something felt different. The pendant around her neck pulsed with a strange warmth, as if responding to an unseen force. She approached the grand observatory, where the festival's final ceremony would be held. The high oracle, draped in robes woven with threads of starlight, stood at the edge of the cliffs, ready to guide the seekers. The time has come, the oracle declared. Tonight, the celestial gates open, and those destined shall receive their calling. The villagers released their lanterns into the sky, their prayers carried on the wind. Alina held her own lantern close, whispering a silent wish. As she let go, it ascended gracefully, then, suddenly, changed course, spiraling towards the heart of the cliffs. Gasps filled the air. The oracle's eyes widened. The celestial light has chosen, she murmured. Follow it, child. Alina hesitated, but the warmth of her pendant urged her forward. She stepped beyond the festival's boundary, following the glowing trail into the hidden caverns beneath the cliffs. The air shimmered with cosmic energy, and stardust swirled around her like living fireflies. At the cavern's center stood an ancient altar, its surface engraved with constellations that mirrored the pendant she wore. As she placed her hand upon it, the markings ignited, and a vision flooded her mind. She saw a forgotten kingdom floating among the stars, its towers made of crystalline light. She saw a queen with silver eyes, whispering her name before vanishing into the cosmic void. And she saw a prophecy, one that spoke of a lost heir destined to restore the balance between worlds. The vision ended, leaving Alina breathless. The oracle appeared beside her, her expression filled with reverence. "You are the starborn," she said. "The last descendant of the astral kings." Alina's heart pounded. The festival, the pendant, the visions, they had all led to this moment. She was not just a seeker, she was the key to a legacy long thought lost. As the twin moons cast their radiant glow upon the cliffs, Alina stepped forward, no longer afraid. The celestial festival had unveiled her destiny, and she would embrace it. With the stars as her guide, she would rise to reclaim her birthright and awaken the kingdom that had once been lost to the cosmos. The Harvest Moon Festival, a celebration of gratitude and reunion. The golden glow of lanterns illuminated the village of Brightwater as the townspeople eagerly prepared for the annual Harvest Moon Festival. Every autumn, on the night of the full moon, the village came alive with joyous festivities, expressing gratitude for the bountiful harvest and cherishing the bonds of family and friendship. For May, this festival was especially meaningful. After years of living in the bustling city, she had returned home for the first time in a decade. The familiar scent of roasted corn and spiced cider lingered in the air, while the warmth of flickering lanterns cast comforting shadows along the cobbled streets. It was as if time had stood still in Brightwater, yet May knew she had changed. "May!" A delighted voice called from across the square. She turned to see her childhood friend, Lynn, waving excitedly. "I can't believe you're here." She rushed to embrace Lynn, laughter bubbling from her lips. "I wouldn't miss the Harvest Moon Festival for anything." Together, they wandered through the festival, marveling at the beautifully decorated stalls. Handmade wreaths crafted from autumn leaves, jars of golden honey, and sweet mooncakes adorned the tables. Children played traditional games, their joyous shrieks blending with the lively tunes of flutes and drums echoing through the village square. At the heart of the festival stood the grand harvest altar, laden with offerings of fruits, grains, and flowers as a tribute to the moon goddess. It was here that the festival's most treasured tradition was about to begin, the offering of wishes. The village elder, a wise man with kind eyes and a gentle voice, stepped forward. "The full moon watches over us tonight, blessing our harvest and uniting our hearts. Let us give thanks and send forth our wishes, carried by the wind and the light." May felt a deep sense of nostalgia as she held a delicate paper slip in her hands. Carefully, she wrote her wish: "May the path of life always lead me back to those I love." She walked with Lynn and the other villagers toward the riverbank, where thousands of floating candles awaited. One by one, the people placed their wishes inside small lantern boats, setting them upon the water. As the river carried them downstream, the golden lights reflected against the rippling surface, creating a breathtaking sight of floating dreams. Lynn nudged May playfully. "They say if your lantern floats the farthest, your wish will surely come true." May smiled. "Then I hope mine reaches the ends of the earth." As they watched the glowing lights disappear into the horizon, fireworks suddenly lit up the sky, bursting into magnificent patterns of crimson, sapphire, and gold. The entire village erupted in cheers, the night alive with laughter and celebration. May looked around at the familiar faces, the traditions she had long missed, and the beauty of the moment. No matter where life had taken her, Brightwater would always be her home. And as the final firework faded into the starry sky, she knew that some wishes had already come true.